So, it looks like Jonathan had a little bit of an oopsie today and unfortunately forgot to wear his diapers because there have been some major leaks coming out for Path of Exile 2. So to preface this video, we are going to be going over some of these leaks, so if you don't want to get spoiled by these leaks, want to wait until tomorrow with the official live stream, be sure to stop the video here because we are going to be going over some of this leaked content. Whoa, sorry to interject guys, I just want to hop in here while we're talking about the live stream to let y'all know that on August 20th at 1 p.m. Pacific, when the Grinding Gear Games 0.3 patch reveal live stream goes live, me, Kaltorak, and Dead Rabbit are all going to be co-streaming the live stream. We're going to be in there chatting together, talking about everything that's comes up and reacting to it live. And directly after that stream, we are going to be having the next episode of the Path to Exile podcast. So whenever the live stream ends, we're going to be having that podcast. So come hang out with us on my stream, twitch.tv/misoexshiro, or you can go to Cal's stream. He's going to be streaming likely on YouTube and Twitch at Kaltorak, and then Dead Rabbit as well at Dead Rabbit. Join us in our streams for the live stream and you'll get drops too, and afterwards we will be streaming the Path to Exile podcast. So regardless of where you are, you're going to get funneled into my channel and listen to the podcast. So hopefully I see you guys there. As far as we know, all these leaks are definitely accurate. DM, who has insider information, has confirmed that this is accurate information, and also Jonathan and Grinding Gear Games have asked this website to take down their articles. So what we are going to be looking over are some of the images that people took, screenshots specifically, of these before they got taken down. And there are some huge spoilers in this. Now, before we jump into the articles themselves, I did want to talk a little bit about the elephant in the room. So Kami Labs is the site that published this. And as you can see, here is a comment from Kami Labs talking about the new class. So this specific image says, in an interview today with Jonathan Rogers, he confirmed that the druid will not be added to version 0.3, but will arrive in a future season. So unfortunately, that means that we are not going to be getting our furry little friend for this update like many people thought we were gonna, including me as well. But I don't necessarily think that this means there will not be a new class. A lot of people have been speculating that there's not going to be a new class coming for 0.3. That might be true, but I will have to say that from everything that I've seen, this seems to be one of the few things that actually points us towards a direction about the classes, and this does not say we are not getting a new class. It just says that we will not be getting druid. So it's very likely that we will be getting another class, and we took a look at some of the data mined information last night from the skill gems, and potentially we still could be getting Marauder. I don't know. But either way, I don't think we can necessarily write off that we are not getting a new class yet. It just says that we're not getting druid. And according to Kami himself, he has said that the leaks that he has provided in the articles is about 40% of the update. So there is still hope that we are going to be getting a new class with this update. So don't lose hope yet. But with that, we are going to be diving into the articles. And the first one has to do with the new act. So Act 4 is officially confirmed and will be coming. Now, there will not be an Act 4, 5, and 6, unfortunately. We are just going to be getting Act 4, which is, of course, the Karui-themed act, and it is going to be huge. There's going to be a bunch of maps. So right here it says 100 new monsters, 16 new areas, and 12 new bosses, and it is going to be a non-linear act. So you're going to be sailing all around the place, doing different quests. I'm assuming you're going to be just doing all the quests in any order that you want, and it doesn't have to be in a linear fashion. But we are going to be getting Act 4, and it seems like a ginormous act to make sure that we are able to get all of the content from the cruel, basically 1 to 3 cruel that is missing, because that is going to be gone and replaced by Act 4. So this is pretty in line with one of the Chinese leaks that we had before that I thought was potentially just made up, but it looks like that has been pretty accurate. Now, after Act 4, we are going to get to about level 60 on our characters, so they are going to be adding something called an interlude. Now, the interlude is going to be kind of like a couple mini acts. As it says right here, 3 mini temporary acts. It will take players from level 60 to 65 to get us to endgame into mapping, and this is only temporary and will disappear with the arrival of Acts 5 and 6. So this basically confirms that we are not going to be getting an Act 5 and 6 at the moment, and only Act 4, but we will be getting kind of this little, I don't know, temporary mini act in place of that. Now, that goes against my predictions of Acts 4 to 6, but I did say that I don't think they're just going to come out Act 4, right? And I think that's still pretty accurate. They are coming out with Act 4, but they're also adding this interlude to make sure that we are getting enough experience. Overall, these two things are like, to me, I don't know. I'm happy that this is coming, right? I'm glad this is coming, but at the same time, I feel like having an act that lasts as long as Acts 1 to 3, Cruel, seems a little bit much for a single act. We'll see how it is in actual execution, but that's kind of just how I feel about it just right now. I'm still happy that we're getting a new act. I'm still happy we're getting rid of Cruel, but potentially the execution could be a little better. But we'll see, right? We'll have to see how it feels when we play the game. Now, after that, they also announced a brand new mechanic called sprinting. This is in hopes to, I guess, curb player resentment against the slow pace of Path of Exile 2 and helping us specifically get around maps faster. So right now in the game, a lot of times, especially in the campaign, people are using skills like shield charge or disengage to get around quickly. This is basically going to be kind of like a replacement for that, in my opinion. So how it works is that every single class is going to be able to sprint. All they need to do is hold dodge roll, their character will perform a roll. Then if you continue holding that spacebar button, you will start running into a sprint that I think is about 20% faster than your normal movement speed. Now, with this sprint, you will not have stamina, which is kind of good news, but at the same time, if you get hit while you are running, you will get knocked down. Basically, what I assume is you'll get heavy stun. See right here. Important constraint, if the character is hit while sprinting, you will fall to the ground. I'm assuming this means it's kind of like the same as when you're on a roll mount and then you get stunned off of it, you will be down for a significant amount of time. Now, I'm a little bit mixed on this as well. I think it's a nice, I think it's going in the right direction, right? I think we are going in the right direction to help facilitate some of these large maps to make it so that we're moving through more streamlined. But at the same time, I don't think it addresses the core issue a lot of times. I think in general, it's, of course, in the campaign, I think this is going to help a lot, but I don't see this being very useful while we're mapping or anything like that. I think that this doesn't really necessarily address the speed issue that we're talking about. Probably in campaign, it'll make it faster, but that's kind of about it. So again, this is going to be a wait and see type of situation, and who knows, maybe I might be wrong, right? So I still think that there's work to be done. Maybe like just shrink the maps a little bit. I don't know. But we'll have to see how this ends up being. But I do think it is a step in the right direction. Next up is going to be the support gems. So a huge overhaul in how support gems are going to work. First things first, they are getting rid of the restriction where you cannot use multiple copies of the same support gem on different abilities. It doesn't mean that you can use like 2 concentrated effects on one ability. It means that if you're using concentrated effect on one ability, you can still use it on another ability. Now, again, I have said this before on the Path to Exile podcast, but I actually kind of like the restriction. It made it so that you can be a little bit more creative with your builds and really not use all of the super overpowered support gems on every single ability. Now, we'll see how this goes again. I probably will like it, let's be real. If you're increasing my power level, it's going to be fun. But at the same time, it does make me feel a little bit sad because it's going to make it so that I don't have to stretch my mind a little bit, my brain a little bit more when I'm making my builds. But overall, I think most people do like this change. The other thing that I have to say about this multiple support situation is that going forward, hopefully this doesn't mean that they're going to get lazy with their support gem designs, because what this will mean is, well, we only have a support, like a select, maybe like 10, 15 support gems everybody's using, and everything other than that is probably going to be complete garbage, right? So we'll see. Hopefully that doesn't end up being the case. But that is the first thing that we have for the support gems. The next thing is they are adding progression tiers for the support gems. So, for example, in Path of Exile right now, let's say brutality is a tier 1 support gem, and that stays as a tier 1 throughout the entire game. It doesn't get better, it doesn't get worse, whatever, right? But they are adding tiered support gems, which means you will have, as you see in this picture, brutality 1, and then brutality 2, and then brutality 3. So basically what it'll be is you can use your tier 3 support gems, the uncut ones, to cut a tier 3 brutality, and that will have better effects than the tier 1 one. You can see an example of this with this new support gem called Double Barrel. At rank 1, it gives you +1 projectile, but slower reload speed. Then the penalty drops to 20%. And then at rank 3, you get a new mechanic that has auto reload after heavy stun. So you have these additions to your support gems that make them stronger over time, which is something I think that the game was lacking. Now, in addition to that, they also added something new called Lineage gems. These are basically unique support gems. And these unique support gems are not things that you can cut with your support gem, like your uncut support gem. These will all be things you're going to be finding while killing monsters and bosses in the game. So this is really, really cool and is going to be giving us a lot of additional build creativity and build diversity to our skills. Next up, they're also going to be reworking a little bit of how the different attribute classes work. Specifically in this one, they're talking about dexterity classes. I'm not going to go over the specific skills that they're adding, but I will go over this one new mechanic called deflect. So in the game, we currently have evasion for dexterity characters. Now, in addition to this, they're adding a new mechanic called deflect because they found that typically dexterity classes had the worst survivability with pure evasion. Now, we have Evasion ES, which was really, really strong last season, but when we're talking about pure evasion, it was a little bit on the weaker side. So they added this new kind of mechanic called deflect. As you can see here, it says, deflection rating provides a chance to deflect damage from hits, preventing 40% of the damage from those hits and ailments that they inflict. Exact chance to deflect also depends on the attacker's accuracy. And it is confirmed that deflect chance can be increased up to 100%. So basically, whenever you deflect an attack, it'll have a 40% damage reduction on success. And you can take this chance to deflect up to 100%. And from what I can tell, this is something that is in addition to evasion. So on top of evasion, you will also have this deflect chance that you can allocate into that'll make it so that you are more survivable. So if you don't evade an attack and it hits you, you have a chance to deflect the attack and reduce the amount of damage that you take. This is pretty cool. I can see this potentially being kind of overpowered, but we'll see. We'll have to see. Now, in addition to this, they have made it so that you are now able to block and parry every single attack, according to this article, except for unblockable attacks. I'm not sure if this means you can even parry like ground, like the AoE, like slams. I don't think so, but we'll have to see when we get more information from the live stream tomorrow. Next up is changes to warriors and armor. Again, I'm going to be skipping over the skills themselves. You can take a look at that in the link below, but I'm skipping over all the way to the bottom where it talks about a change and buff to armor, which is something that we've been looking for a while. So it says right here, armor gains the ability to better reduce elemental damage thanks to new stats available on equipment and in the passive tree. And as you can see right here, there is an armor that has a line that says 17% of armor also applies to elemental damage taken from hits. So now armor will be more useful if you have these specific lines on your gear and also if you're statting into it on your tree. So we'll see if this is going to help solve the problems with armor and make it a better damage reduction tool. I think that we still need to get some additions to the ability to get a higher health pool to really make this work, but we'll have to see how effective this is going forward. But either way, it is a good change. It is a step in the positive direction for armor, and hopefully this makes armor a little bit more viable going forward. Now, next is going to be crossbows. So mercenary and crossbow changes. Again, not going to go over the specific skills and synergies and stuff like that they're talking about, but they are going to be making a huge change to the fluidity of crossbows going forward. So crossbow reload no longer penalizes your movements, which is amazing, and skills that can be used while moving also have a shorter slow penalty. So basically making crossbow attacks a lot more smooth, both while reloading and using them. Again, I'm still not sure if this is going to be enough to make crossbows on the board as a top tier weapon, but we'll have to see. Now, lastly, they have a page about the witch class and the summons, and also a new weapon type called the Reaping Staff. Now, these are kind of specific changes to skills and also weapons, so I'm not going to be going over this stuff in particular, but again, if you wanted to see these changes, I will be linking the page down below. But this is all of the big changes in my opinion. Of course, again, this is only about 40% of the information that GGG is going to be giving tomorrow during the live stream. So don't worry, there is still more exciting news to come, and hopefully that exciting news includes a brand new class. But we'll have to see about that. Again, that's about it for this video. Tomorrow, me, Kaltorak, Dead Rabbit, we will be doing a co-stream for the live reveal, and we'll be reacting to it live, and then directly afterwards we are going to be having the next episode of the Path to Exile podcast, kind of going over our thoughts about everything in the patch. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. But that is about it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, let me know down in the comments section below, and let me know what you are most excited to see from these leaks. And as always, if you want to support the channel, the sub button is the best way to do it, and it is completely free. It lets me know that you enjoy this content, and I'll make more of it going forward. I also stream every single night on twitch.tv/mesolixshrew, so I'd love to see you guys there as well. But if you guys can't make it, don't worry. I'll see y'all on the next video. Alright guys, peace!